In this video we will understanding the journal. Metrics. Journal metrics are tools used to measure the performance and impact of a journal. They can help you to choose which journal to submit your work to. But, as we'll discuss later, they certainly shouldn't be seen as the be-all and end-all when it comes to deciding where to publish. For a long time, the only tool for assessing journal performance was the impact factor. More on that shortly. Now there is a range of different research metrics available, from the traditional impact factor to the site score and beyond. When choosing a journal, it's vital that you consider a number of these metrics together rather than focusing too much on one. We'll explain why shortly, but first, what do all the different metrics mean? And how are they calculated? In this video we learn about impact factor. The impact factor is the most commonly used metric to assess a journal. Different subjects have varying citation patterns, which are reflected in a journal's calculation. Released annually based on Web of Science Journal Citation Reports, only journals in the Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE, and Social Sciences Citation Index, SSCI, can have an impact factor. How it's calculated. Number of citations in 1 year to content published in the previous 2 years. Divided by number of articles and reviews published within the previous 2 years. In this video we learn about 5-year impact factor. The 5-year impact factor attempts to reflect the longevity of research and is more stable year on year for smaller titles as there are a larger number of articles and citations included. These are useful for subject areas where it takes longer for work to be cited. How it's calculated. Number of citations in 1 year to content published in the previous 5 years is divided by number of articles and reviews published within the previous 5 years. SNP. Source Normalized Impact per paper. SNP is published twice a year and looks at a 3-year period. It attempts to correct subject-specific characteristics so it's easier to make cross-discipline comparisons between journals. It measures citations received relative to citations expected for the subject field. How it's calculated. Journal citation count per paper. Divided by citation potential in the field. SJR, Scimago Journal Rank. The SJR aims to capture the effect the subject field, quality, and reputation of a journal has on a citation. It looks at the prestige of a journal by considering the sources of citations to it, rather than counting all citations equally. Each citation received by a journal is assigned a weight based on the SJR of the citing journal. So, a citation from a journal with a high SJR value is worth more than a citation from a journal with a low SJR value. How it's calculated. All citations recorded in Scopus in a given year to content published in the previous 3 years. Divided by the number of items published in a journal within the previous 3 years. Eigenfactor. The eigenfactor measures the influence of a journal within the relevant literature over 5 years. A citation from a highly cited journal is worth more than one that receives few citations. How it's calculated. The number of citations in 1 year to content published in the previous 5 years, weighted, is divided by the number of articles published within the previous 5 years. Site score. Currently available for over 22,000 journals indexed in Scopus, SiteScore aims to capture the optimum citation period for most subject areas. It is a ratio of citations to research published and looks at all content published in a journal, not just articles and reviews. How it's calculated. All citations recorded in Scopus in a given year to content published in the previous 3 years is divided by the number of items published in a journal within the previous 3 years. Cited half-life. Cited half-life measures the longevity of research. It reflects how long research continues to be referred to and cited after it's been published. How it's calculated. The number of years after which 50% of the lifetime journal citations in a year have been received. Altmetric attention scores tracks the online shares and conversations relating to a piece of published research. Each online mention of that research is weighted differently. So, a journal article referred to, or mentioned, in an international newspaper is given more weighting in the overall altmetric attention score than someone tweeting about the same piece of research. How it's calculated. Gathers data collected around research articles that aren't usage or citation data, such as mentions on social media, in news outlets, on blogs, in policy documents or patents, and in online reference managers.